Hello and welcome to Animation Flash Chapter 10, Lesson 1. Now, what I've done is I've already accomplished the coding, and I'll kind of walk you through what it means and what it's supposed to be doing. So the very first section that I went ahead and coded already is from Flash 10-8 all the way to Flash 10-10. 10-11 as well. And the idea behind this is essentially the extent of what I have is I'm able to track the mouse pointer with the custom mouse pointer that looks like that, and I push start and it takes me to this, and as of yet nothing drags. So that's the point I'm at. So, and it's right before the Flash 10-10, right before click frame 2 on the player, then display the actions panel. So, what basically happens is as I look over here, you'll see it says mouse.hide, meaning it hides the actual mouse as I take it over here. Stage.add event listener, mouse move, and follow, meaning that it's adding an event listener for me moving my mouse. And then I create a function called follow. So each time that I move the mouse, it calls follow, and then it actually says my cursor.x equals mouse x, and my cursor.y equals mouse y. And then it adds this button that says go to the start position and play section 2, which is my start 2. So basically this first part right here makes it where as I take my mouse pointer over here, my mouse disappears and this mouse cursor called my cursor appears, and I'm able to interact with things on my mouse cursor. But you'll note that as of yet I don't have any drag elements in it, so it is not actually able to drag any of these shapes to where it needs to go. So that concludes the very first portion of Chapter 10, Lesson 1. The next one, and I'm going to take you to our step 2 here, and the reason I did it in this particular order is I want to do Control, Test Movie, in Flash Professional, so it still works where I push Start, and I've got some elements here, but now that I've added these, it only works for one of them. Okay, and I'll explain. The reason I made it work for one and then saved it is because I want to make sure that I make it work for one particular shape before I start copying code, because one of the things they made you do is copy the code and change values. And the reason I want to do so is I don't want to copy the code, change values, and then have it all mess up because what my template is doesn't work. So I'm in my Flash events with my stop. So I create two variables, my click equals number 0, and objects left number equals 3. So then it says that mouse clicks calls my clicks and pieces left.text objects left. So what this does is this interacts with the text boxes that you're able to track the numbers in. So my clicks keeps track of the number of times you click, and objects left keeps track of the number of objects left on the screen that you have yet to match up. So in this particular one, it adds my square, my triangle, my circle. It says function click to drag. It starts the drag with this function. Then what happens is it has a function called my square that adds event listener, mouse up. I drag it. It then replies good job if I do it correctly, and false, and then adds to my clicks, mouse clicks, objects left. So it's taking this means it's adding one to my clicks, and this takes one away from objects left. So I'm actually changing the value of my clicks and objects left at runtime. Also, I've added the my circle event listener, but we haven't really done a whole lot with it as of yet. So the way that works or looks when we actually work with it is now I've got my mouse pointer, I click there, I've added my square, I believe. So if I take my square and I move it and it matches, it adds my 1 to mouse clicks and takes 1 away from pieces left. If it's a correct piece, it should say good job right through here. So each one of them, this is the reply.text. So when I created a text box that's called reply, there we go. Target square.visible equals false, meaning it's making that false. And it actually interfaces with mouse clicks.text string my clicks, meaning here's my mouse clicks.text. It interfaces with that and adds my clicks. And then pieces left, it interfaces with that and add objects left. And the way that culminates is if I grab the square and I move it here, notice it makes the square go away, and that's the target square.visible equals false. And then my mouse clicks goes up to 1, meaning that I've incremented my clicks by 1, put the value in my clicks. Pieces left goes down by 1. I've decremented that by 1 and made it go down by 2, or down to 2. And then the idea is if let's say I have circle, and I move circle here, circle will disappear. Same idea. Mouse clicks now is up to 2. It says good job. Pieces left is 1. I haven't done my triangle yet, I believe, and as a result, ooh, maybe I did. Oh, no. So I still have my triangle and it's floating around because I haven't yet added that piece of code. But before I copied the square and made the changes to circle, I made absolutely positively sure that it worked. So I would just do the my square first and then change it. Now you'll notice in my circle, I changed my circle instead of my square right here. Then I changed the function name to click to drop 3 because it was click to drop 1. Then I also changed this to click to drop 3. I changed this to circle from square because I remember they're all named target circle, target square, and target triangle. And then this information stays essentially the same because that doesn't modify. But I want to make sure this works in totality for one of them before I copy it over to the next. And the final iteration of what this looks like, and there's my step 3, I have my there's click to drop 1 with the square, click to drop 2 with the triangle, and click to drop 3 with the circle. And notice each one of them are slightly different because it works with different shapes. So when I look at this, when it all runs, I'll come along, I'll do Control, Test Movie, in Flash Professional, grab this, move it down here. I take my square, move it here, there we go. Triangle, move it here, there we go. Circle, move it here, there we go. So that basically concludes all the coding, and in Chapter 10, Flash, we start doing a lot more coding than we have previous. It kind of talks through what that coding means and how it applies. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. Otherwise, that concludes Chapter 10, Lesson 1. Thank you very much for your time.